It's just got so much space. And in the end, I fit all my clothes in there.
And to be honest, the big ones, Qantas don't have international yet, only a few of them. So.
Good morning. It is, well, it has been a while. Currently the 26th of February 2025. And I wouldn't have posted a video since the Bustleton race recap. And we're now 4 days out from New Zealand Ironman. So first race of the season, I thought I would mix it up and bring you for the sort of travel day. It's not an insanely crazy travel day, but it's also not like a super short one. So once we get to New Zealand, we'll drive to Taupo, and somewhere along the line we'll do my final sort of run with any level of intensity. So I'll show you that. Currently we're eating the finest that Melbourne Airport has to offer. Just kidding, I actually do like the McDonald's muffin. So I'll probably talk to you next when we're in New Zealand. So, big day of travel. It is 6:50 local time, which is essentially 4:50 Melbourne time. So literally just one session today, not really much time to do much else, but it's going to be the last little bit of sort of intensity, although not really intensity. So I'll do a quick warm up, 3 by 10 minutes, at sort of LT1, just above LT1. Gonna take some lactate just to see how I'm recovering. And the lactate I get from this session won't really dictate the session, but it'll sort of dictate what I can do tomorrow, and we can see how the body is responding. So I will hopefully catch you for maybe around the second rep, and we can see how it's going. So see you soon. Cool. All right. See you soon. So that's 2 done. They felt really, really easy. It's actually kind of beneficial. It's the first bit is downhill, but with a headwind, and then it's turn around and come back up the hill, but with the tailwind. So it's basically like running on flat the whole time. Made an absolute meal of that. I'm a bit shaky. Must be tired. So, in regular training, this reading could potentially dictate what I do next. But I'm more just interested to see with this one kind of how I'm feeling. So 1.8. So I probably would have expected it to be a tiny bit higher. So probably carrying a bit of fatigue from the travel today. But I'll do one more 10-minute. And we'll find out on the next. I'm just gonna leave my phone there with that. At least it was clean. But yeah, so 3 by 10 minutes. Nothing crazy. Just because I call it intensity doesn't mean it's hard. We're just narrowing focus. So 1.4. So the lactate came down a little bit. I actually think I might have got some sweat in the last sample. So the 1.4 is probably where I expect it to be. I am pretty tired. We have been up since 3 a.m. this morning. It's kind of what happens with travel. But the good news is the effort didn't feel hard, felt very comfortable. So we'll see how we go tomorrow. And yeah, I'm gonna cool down quickly and go home and clean up because my brother and my father definitely want to go eat. And so do I. So I'll talk to you after the cool down.
Their cars for I never come back.
Hey?
These are 85. Might actually check in after and just get my wristband and stuff. G'day, bit of a time jump. I said I was going to talk to you after the run workout last night, which I just didn't end up doing. Ended up getting dinner, steak and some chips, and sort of pretty much just wanted to get to bed ASAP, try and get on time zone as well as possible. And then didn't film anything this morning because it is literally 2:50. I'm about to go into the pro briefing. I snapped a bolt setting up my bike. I'm not claiming responsibility. I wasn't even at the 4 Newton meters of torque yet that I was meant to be at for the bolt, and it just went bang. So that was stressful, trying to find a replacement for that this morning. So the plan is go to this pro briefing. I might do my check-in 2 days. The race is in 2 days, but I might do my check-in today. Not something I normally do, but I might do it just to save time. And then I'm just going to knock out a swim and a bike. They're going to be much shorter than what I wanted, but we're just going to try and knock them out. And then I might move, an extra 20 or 30 minutes of exercise to the day before the race. I am a person who likes to do a little bit more taper week rather than a little bit less. So yeah, I'll see you after the pro briefing down at the water. See ya. So I'll hand these.
Yeah. Well, do you want to bring me? Yeah.
Set my stuff by yours if you don't mind.
Oh, of course. Yeah. We can both have our stuff stolen together.
100%. I'll get out of your video though.
No, you're good. So, briefing done, quick swim done. I was thinking of skipping it, but I'm glad I didn't because I always take a couple of swims to sort of loosen up the wetsuit and get the shoulders used to it. Like, my shoulders are pretty fatigued after what would have been 2K maybe. But all good. Checked in, which I normally don't do 2 days out. I'm normally lazy and do it the day before. And to the New Zealand race director, well done on the briefing. It was like 20 minutes long, exactly what it should be. Very happy with that. So, gonna go home, jump on the bike, maybe 70 minutes, and then straight into some dinner. So, yeah, we'll get to it. Huge. So, good morning. It is 5:45 a.m. Headed to transition. Race time is 7:47 for the men. And we only really get given 7 minutes in the water, I believe. Apparently they said water opens at 7:40. So really there's no rush to get there early. The back half of yesterday went pretty smooth. We did have a small scare, which is the second time this has happened to me. So I probably should have learned my lesson, but they said the provisional water temp was 22.2, which we won't go into how much of a debatable reading that was, but they were saying there's a risk of a non-wetsuit swim, which I don't even own a swim skin, so that was going to cook me. Thankfully, a few other pros complained, and they opened up the store to allow us to go buy a swim skin from the merchandise store. So I did that, even though I'm about 99% sure we're not going to need it. But good that we have it. And then essentially got home. I would have been in bed by 7:45. Probably didn't fall asleep until close to 10, maybe a tiny bit after, which is actually pretty good given that would be 8 o'clock Australian time. So, Australian or Victorian time. So, had over 6 hours of sleep, which I think for a race morning is very reasonable. Much better than the borderline 3.5 to 4 I got in WA. And yeah, not really anything too crazy going on. Today's plan is just, I think one thing I've learned is since getting my pro license, I've had my 3 worst races, or 2 terrible races and a DNF, even though the DNF obviously counts as a terrible race. So today the goal is to just race with some level of confidence, because when I was an amateur and I knew I was good compared to the rest of the field, I had confidence and I raced with confidence, and that confidence allowed me to just stick to my plan. The second I got into the pro field, I kind of got imposter syndrome, and I didn't feel, or still don't feel like I should be there, and that led me to make dumb decisions like over biking, over swimming, and it really caused me to never be able to show my talent running, because I've always just gotten to the run absolutely depleted. So that's the theme for today. So these will probably be my last words until after the race. So thank you for watching the video. Appreciate all the messages last night of support and the support in general. And yeah, I will talk to you guys most likely tomorrow. We'll see if I'm in the mood tonight.
You're exiting on the bike there, so the moment high today of 23. Winds, nothing too dramatic. So
I got in yesterday and I went, it's not warm in here.
No. So, no, you'll be right.
No, I pooed myself when they sent the email out last night, and then pretty quickly after we looked at the temps and stuff like that, I went, nah, I think we're good. I think that's a formality they've sent out.
Yeah.
So I said I wasn't going to talk before the race, but I have been ridiculously organised. So it's currently 6:44. Water doesn't open for, look, they said 7:40. I'm guessing they're going to open it a bit earlier so we can get a little bit of a swim warm up in. But I don't know if I should do this because it'll probably ruin it for me. But don't wait at like the big block of toilets near the start line. If you do a little warm up or a walk along the path, you never have to go more than a K. You'll find a public toilet or the run course toilets, and then you'll just have it to yourself. So yeah, little hack.
Good shit.
Well done to you, sir. Congratulations.
That is so fast. Christchurch boy, we love the Christchurch boys, don't we? Got out there today, got in front and just held that lead on that run. Took the risk early on, got in front. Cam's going to jump out and get an interview, but while Cam's getting an interview, getting really good. Kyle Tremaine's coming through right now as another one of our flow athletes from Australia. Well done, Kyle. Nice work. Oh, the body's saying I've had enough. But
that's the thing, right? It's finish line fever. You just got to just, you're starting to get tunnel vision.
Well, the East Coast Foods Ironman 2025 is not far away. So we want to give it lots of love and lots of attention.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, really love it. Yeah, I thought I'd shift around, but I started here and the place is just so good to us. So.
I just went bang.
You just ran out of juice. Because you looked at me and at one point and said you were feeling good.
At halfway I felt good, yeah.
Yeah. A few people are because you got with it. Thanks for the VIP, mate. It was good. We had 2 beers and.
Does anyone not know where the do the run, then you come back. Then you come back for your last beer, and then after you've done your 4th beer, the finish is here. We're going to get someone to time it, so we can get some times, and then we'll get cracking. Just watch those.
When we go, let's go.
Yeah, we're ready. Go on. 2, 1, go.
I feel like I'm due a baby. Go again. We can get back out there, man. Come on!
Come on, Benny, push! Go, Benny!
That's the only prize that Bolton wonder is going to We're going to Europe. We're the 1958. Medal for the
Today, it is currently the 11th of March, so 10 days post-race. Not my best turnaround in terms of getting a race recap up. Quick rundown of the travel coming back. The aim was to leave on the 3rd, so race was on the 1st. Aim was to leave on the 3rd. Unfortunately, rental car broke down about 30 minutes out of Taupo. So stayed an extra day. That was kind of a bit of a fluff around in terms of changing flights around and whatnot. Got home, so ended up getting home on the 4th. And then I've come up to, or I suppose down to Aries Inlet for a little bit of extra training. For anyone who's not in Victoria, it's kind of the south coast on the west side of the city. Surf Coast Shire, I suppose it's known as down here. To get a little bit more time, just to get a good couple of days training now that my legs have kind of finally returned. But I won't waffle too much, even though I already have, so I'm sure everyone wants to just know about the race. The goal for the race for this one, I guess is a bit of a little bit more waffle. I definitely lost myself a bit last year. I was on a really good, as an age grouper, I was on a really good path and a really good trajectory in terms of improvement once I found a system that had worked for me, which largely, for anyone who kind of knows me, is semi-reflective of the Norwegian style of training. And then when I got my pro license, I kind of switched everything up for whatever reason. I kind of got a bit self-conscious about, you know, my fitness ability, and got a bit of like imposter syndrome, and really felt like I needed to train the same way everyone else was, which was that very, very clear polarized model. And that just straight up made me worse. So obviously had a few stinkers last year, and now sort of back on the right path in terms of my training methodology, and what I believe to be the most efficacious way to train is. So the goal for this race was just to, I knew I wasn't going to be phenomenal by any stretch of the imagination. I'd only been back training for about 7 weeks. But I just wanted to find out or realize that I was back on the right trajectory, so to speak. So the plan was just to ignore everyone else, race my own race, and see what happened, and just kind of get some data points. So swim went okay. It was just over a 56-minute swim, which is slower than some of my other swims, but being a weaker swimmer and it being a fresh water swim, I definitely felt my body position wasn't as solid as it is in this salt water. So overall, look, I just found feet pretty early on, didn't get sucked into anything, probably swam a little bit easier than I would have wanted to, but for the sake of me being on somebody else's feet and making my life a little bit easier, that was fine. So onto the bike, I had a pretty solid transition and then got onto the bike. And again, my goal was to just not get carried away. So unfortunately, the guys that I swam with, two really, really solid bikers, rode off on me pretty quickly. And I was kind of just left by myself. It was an entirely solo ride. I really didn't see anyone for majority of the ride. And I just straight up stuck to the number. So I suppose on the bike ride, still something I'm trying to work out. I'm definitely making progress in terms of optimizing my position from an aerodynamic standpoint. Definitely still not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. I do believe my power output, when I kind of, I've never had my CDA calculated in a wind tunnel or on a velodrome or anything, but I believe my CDA back calculated through a program called My Windsock is still showing as relatively high for somebody on a time trial bike, but definitely an improvement over my CDA from WA and Melbourne. So biked at 239 watts, I believe. I was at 240, but the last little bit into town is all downhill, so I kind of just coasted and lost a watt. So let's call it 240 for the sake of my mental health. But I was only weighing just under 70 kilos for that race, and I got off feeling exceptionally strong. I negative splitted the bike in terms of my power output in the second half was much higher. I didn't actually negative split on time because I believe the wind picked up a little bit on the second lap, but in terms of power output, the second half was stronger than the first. Got off feeling exceptionally strong. Probably could have biked a little bit harder, but again, I didn't. I really wanted to have a solid run. So came off feeling really good. And this is sort of where I made the mistake. I always preach about, not going too hard early on and saying that you're never going to miraculously be an exceptional amount stronger on race day than you are in training. And for some reason, I kind of got sucked into, I knew 407 per kilometre, which I believe is about a 254 marathon split, was going to be my best possible run. But off the bike, after the first few Ks, I was averaging 403, 404. And instead of going, hey, I know what I've done in training, I know this is unsustainable, I know I'm above my aerobic threshold or my LT1, I kind of convinced myself that I was going to be able to sustain that and run significantly faster than I had trained to do. And basically right on cue at the 2 hour mark, which is sort of where tipping just over that LT1 point, you're going to blow up. my legs just went bang with about 8k to go. And what was meant to be what was looking like a 250-ish run split, maybe even a bit quicker, all of a sudden turned into a something like a 302. So yeah, not ideal, but my own fault, not a reflection of my run fitness, which finally I believe my run fitness is back to where it was. But just a reflection of a complete lack of discipline and a lack of intensity control. So rounded the day out with an 850, which again is not something to brag about in the pro field. It's still a bit of an embarrassing time to be getting in a race like this. But more so, the reason I'm not frustrated is it is a step in the right direction, and I believe I'm back on the path that I was maybe 18 months ago, when I was really improving quite rapidly as an age grouper. So yeah, not a perfect race, but I'm also not disappointed because it was good data. I believe I have a few avenues to test on the bike in terms of it optimizing aerodynamics, and yeah, I believe I will be able to just continue to improve and really optimize for the full distance, because I believe that's where my strength is. I just don't believe I've managed to execute one correctly. But yeah, overall, really good experience in New Zealand. I enjoyed the race. I enjoyed the people. The course was pretty cool, although the course was not flat, and whoever calls it a flat course is an idiot. But yeah, apologies for the delay in the video. My YouTube consistency has been pretty poor, but nevertheless, I hope you enjoyed the sort of all of the stuff around the race, like the travel, like the beer mile that my brother did with Joe Skipper, and all the other bits and bobs in between. So currently I am about 11 days out from Geelong 70.3. So managed to get a little bit of good work in, and yeah, we'll see what we can do there. That's a massive field. It's going to be really good. No expectations. The goal for this year is to perform well, most likely in Cairns Ironman. So I will not be doing much 70.3 specific work for my next two races. Those will just be, sort of a measuring stick, and to see that we're heading in the right direction. So anyway, appreciate you making it this far into the video. Hope you enjoyed, even though it will be a very long video. And hopefully I will see you very soon in the next one.